Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon where you live around the world. In front of us at the moment is an exploration of the hub design that I'm wanting to have a wee bit more of a relook at. It's one where I'd contemplated using this before, where while we use the lower assembly with the threaded rods, etc., I had almost rejected using the heavy commercial type screw to be used in the top level of the strut to hub interface. But I'm looking at it again. The complication comes about from wanting, I don't know how necessary it is, I think it is necessary, but having a surface upon which the head of the washer, which is 25 millimeters in diameter, can bed up against flush, so that the stress doesn't get put or doesn't compromise the head of the screw, potentially creating a stress point and maybe at some point a fracture. So anyway, in my journey, which has been many, I have created the model of a Spax screw. Very accurately, I must say, for this part. I found the geometry for it and created the angle, I inserted them at an angle parallel to the top of the strut. And then I thought, I really can't see the goings on of the inside the strut. How do I do that? So normally I'll just make the surface semi-transparent, and I have done that successfully over the past, and it's been quite good. Anyway, I was watching Aaron, who does a lot of his YouTube stuff on SketchUp, and he was making a comment about some common problems that people have, and they'll see this in their drawings and wonder how the heck they got there and how to get rid of it. And it shows some of the internal, the hidden geometry, as it were. It's not quite that, but close enough. But the components within SketchUp, as if the surfaces were semi-transparent. But he said you have to use in this case, the K button to switch that on and off. And some people don't know that, and therefore his solution was to switch it off using the K button. Then he made reference to the X-ray. He said it's kind of like the X-ray facility within SketchUp. And I, for a long time, had wondered why on earth anyone, or how anyone could make use of the X-ray type facility within SketchUp. And then it clicked. It makes the items transparent, pretty much, and allows you to see inside your structures. And I thought, wow, that's it. This is exactly what I'm going to use for viewing how, say in this case, the screw is how it's laying inside the structure. Does it interfere with the lower assembly, the threaded rod, etc.? And I thought, well, that's a good it's a good addition to my skill set using SketchUp. Haven't looked at it many years ago and put it aside. Then I had a thought, hang on a minute, I'm going to click the line tool. I can actually select on points within inside the strut, and I thought, oh, that's amazing. If I wanted to, I could go into, I can select, whoops, I'll just back that out because that didn't work. I can select the screw, click into the group, and if I wanted to delete it, I can actually come into parts of it and select it. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. Isn't that handy? And it means for locating, etc. I know I'm banging about on all different ideas until I came to the strut. And I thought, this is exactly what I need to be able to do when I want to manipulate the drawing a little bit. And quite often, let's just come up here now as an example I can show you. If I did this to re-establish the surface, and I were to get rid of the, and you'll see where I'm going in a moment, I've got rid of the recess that was in the strut. But now I can't really, if I didn't use X-ray, now I can't see inside the strut anymore to be able to carry on deleting things. Oh, I can see this here. Well, okay, I'll delete that. I can delete that. Oh, fantastic. What's that little dot there? Okay. What happened if I hit... it's still some of the internal lines left from when I had that recess. And that little dot I saw was this line. Click into it. When I go into the surface, I can select for deletion my lines that I normally would never be able to see. And you can only do that, or you do that within the X or X-ray feature. Oops, sorry about the zooming in and out there of SketchUp. And I thought, wow, that has now become my new favorite toy or feature. Allows you to better control, manipulate, alter your drawings without having to turn the darn things translucent, and that can sometimes be a problem. If I turn this one translucent, it turns all of them translucent to the same degree. I think you can make this unique, but I've had problems being able to do that. Sure, I've done that before, because if I choose this specific grey, and Aaron or someone like him will be saying, of course David, you just do this. But if I select that particular grey, now what one is it? Which one is it? M06, not that one, but that one. If I now come up to, I'll do it. If I come up here and I turn it transparent, it turns them all transparent, which is not always what I want. I just want to make this unique and only have this one, but all the ones with a similar colour, including other ones over here, have now all gone transparent. That's a pain in the neck sometimes. So I want that. I don't want it transparent, and I don't want it to be universal. So now I'll just undo that. I can achieve a very similar outcome by hitting X. And well, yeah, okay, it's all transparent, but I can click it on and off at the simple tap of a key. So that was a really good, for me, that was a really good step forward, a nice feature of SketchUp. So another thumbs up for SketchUp. God, I should be being paid for this. They don't know I exist. I've got no contact with SketchUp, so don't worry, no conflict of interest, but yay for SketchUp. Okay, that's it. I'll be making another video. I was actually going to touch on making this model here, the Spax screw, but I may leave that for another time. Also need to look at how we create this particular washer, this interface, where it's got a curved surface to mate up against the hub and an angled surface to allow the head to mate up in a flush and flat manner. So I'll look at that. But there is one more thing I want to look at before I move on. It's another mea culpa. I have been bad-mouthing SketchUp at times about how well they do a drawing, but how bad they do the measurement side of things. Well, guess what? I was wrong. And worse, I know that very fact, as I'd used it before in the past successfully, and then had proceeded to forget about it, and then criticise unfairly my much favoured and enjoyed SketchUp. So I'll get onto that, outline the pros and cons and why I've wound up where I've wound up, and why it's natural for the criticism to come about, be that it was unjust. Okay, waffling, time to go, finish my cup of tea. See you in the next one now. Bye.